Good morning and welcome back to another week of writing and publishing books. This week we're back to our weekly routine, but not really. Being an author allows me to work from anywhere in the world, and this week I'm visiting Athens. I will be working here this week and hope to try as many different cafes as possible. After a quick breakfast back at the Airbnb, I'm starting my working week with the first of the cafes that were recommended to me, called Kindle. This is probably the best cafe I've been to so far, including those in Berlin. It's just so big, airy and with lots of windows. Also, they serve my favorite coffee and the music is great, so I don't need to wear headphones, or at least not while it's not too busy. In general, I only wear headphones or earphones with the music the cafe is playing has lyrics I understand, or if the people around me speak English or Greek. While I do understand German, my knowledge isn't good enough to be a distraction. In any case, I got to work with replying to a couple emails and social media posts. The last audiobook of my German Apokosmos series came out over the weekend, and a couple of people were asking if there's going to be another book. While I tried to tie up most loose ends in that story, I didn't have enough time to close the big bad guy story. So, why didn't I write another book? The sad truth is that it didn't make financial sense. The first book in each series always sells the most in each series, and the read-through rate between each book generally indicates whether I should continue writing that series. What's more, each addition to a book series makes the writing and story elements more complicated, and in this case I only wrote book 5 because of the German audience, since the interest in the US had withered. At the same time, I had some issues with my US narrator, so I couldn't even lean on audiobook sales. I hope to someday continue writing this series, but at the moment, this isn't in my plans. Anyway, after I replied to these posts and emails, I jumped to editing. My editor has started working on my last Physics of the Apocalypse novel, and since we're working on a chapter-by-chapter basis on Google Docs, we can work in parallel. So today, I took care of the edits and comments he had left for the first 6 chapters. With that done, I switched to working on my new series and building the main character's backstory a bit more. After about 3 hours, I managed to finalize one of the 4 main characters. This one is all about utilizing magic to generate wealth, but of course there is a deeper reason why he is so money-oriented. And with this, I'll go home, eat something and rest a bit as I'll be visiting a friend later on. It's Tuesday and I didn't go to bed until 3 AM yesterday, so I started off a bit later. I got to the cafe around 11:30 but immediately started working. Later today I will be visiting the Athens Book Festival, so I want to make sure I get done as much as possible. Since my editor is based in the US, he had already left a few more comments on Physics of the Apocalypse 3, the last one in that series, so I started by taking care of those. By the way, today I went to a different cafe that was recommended to me called Naive. I think I'm in love with Athens coffee shops and how easy it is to work in them. In this new series, I want to focus on 4 inseparable friends. They grew up together, so there's good reason for them to stick with each other, but also be faced with the adversities that might come with adult life away from home. I have already settled on one of the 4 boys who really wants to live the village life behind, so he can start his own business and make millions. The one I'm fleshing out today is the youngest of them all. While 3 of the boys are around 27-28 years old, he is the younger brother of one, at only 18 or 19, but at the same time is the largest of them all. He is very much into bodybuilding, to the point that he has posters of famous mage bodybuilders in his room. There's not much for training in the village, so he makes do with whatever he can find. His past isn't as flowery as his dedication to sculpting the perfect body though. While he and his brother are on very good terms, especially since he is hanging out with his friends whenever he's not working out, there's a reason for going so hard with bodybuilding. And of course this is connected to something that has been happening in his dysfunctional family, and especially something he found out when he was very young and keeping it a secret. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away, but I think I have enough meat on him now that I'll be able to expand on while writing the books. There are comedic hooks because he's the youngest and largest of them all, and there are threads I can pull to make readers relate to his struggles. I was hoping that I'd be able to flesh out his brother as well, but it seems I ran out of time for today. The plan was to meet with a friend and go to the Athens book fair, but it seems we were there too early, so instead he showed me around Athens on his Vespa. I know the footage is not great, but I love riding motorbikes, so I made sure to film some interesting areas. I'm not going to say what is what though, because I'm pretty sure I'll get things wrong. In any case, this was my Tuesday. I stayed up far too late watching Critical Role yesterday, so I only went to work at 12 today. I took care of a couple of emails and went to another cafe to start creating our bodybuilder friend's elder brother. On the way there, I found an antique shop and went in to check it out. I wasn't going to buy anything because I don't have enough space in my luggage to bring it back to Berlin, but I wanted to check it out. Quite a cool place, and there were a lot of interesting things to look at. Anyway, I arrived at the cafe I visited on Monday because I liked it a lot and got to work. I was thinking of making this one a bit more reactive to his passive brother. He likes gambling, doesn't mind stealing for the thrill of it, and his balancing trait is his love for animals. This is another thing that I want to focus on because magical beasts really fascinate me, and I think there's a lot of interesting plots that can include them. His favorite magic is a school of life and death because it's the one coming closest to nature and animals, but also because it can offer protection to his brother and friends, something that is very important to him. Creating this character again took me a lot longer than I was expecting, but I managed to start working on the last of the 4 characters too. This way, I'm hoping to finish the main characters by tomorrow and maybe make a plan of what I want to happen in the first book, at least as bullet points. If I can do that, I might start outlining on Friday already. Anyway, the last character is supposed to be the protagonist, or at least the one that the camera will be following around, so to say. This means I need to make sure that he is as fleshed out as the rest of them, but at the same time allow for readers to insert themselves in his shoes, or at least be able to relate to him. His magic is elemental in nature, partly because I like it a lot, but also because it will be easier to work with in terms of getting to the nitty-gritty details of how mana works. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that each of the boys will need to have a job to cover their tuition fees and expenses. Our bodybuilder brother will work at a beauty parlor that specializes in magical anal bleaching, the elder brother in a shop that deals with magical beasts and pets, and our hero at a sort of a magical fast food restaurant. I'm thinking of Magic McDonald's, where all devices are falling apart but the owner is too stingy to repair and maintain them, so we can have some funny situations there. Oh, and our entrepreneur character will do deals, but I suppose we won't be seeing too much into what he does until the time is right. In any case, I will try to continue with our main character tomorrow. For now, I'll go home to take some rest and then visit a mall in the afternoon. While I walked through the city a bit and looked at the tourist shops, I didn't have a chance to go to an actual mall where locals shop. I'm taking a taxi and going to what I think is the most popular mall in Athens today. It should be interesting. Well, yesterday was a bust, but I might visit that mall another time to buy a gift for a friend. In any case, there is a lot of work to be done today, and again, I only started at around 11. I started the day with promoting today's release. Every Thursday is German LitRPG release day, and this week we're releasing the second part of John Klein's extra credit book. The book is quite large, so we had to split it into 2 parts for the German market, else we wouldn't be able to translate it. However, this is one of my favorite LitRPGs, so I really wanted it to reach the German market. Once promos were done, I had to answer a couple emails, one of which was regarding Italian translations of my LitRPG books. Then I took care of another chapter of notes from my editor on the physics of the apocalypse finale. Before working on the last character in my series, I thought I'd tackle a task I had been postponing for quite a while. As part of our publishing and marketing efforts as German LitRPG publishers, we have a Discord server. I thought it'd be great if there is a channel where upcoming releases are documented, so I went ahead and noted what's in the pipeline for the remaining 3.5 months of the year, both for ebook and audiobook. With that done, I'm ready to finalize the main cast. I think I'm going to name the main character Noah because it's a name I use for many of my characters when playing Japanese RPGs and is not used enough in LitRPG. Moving on to what he values and the path I'm going to put him on, it becomes clear that the character will change a lot over the course of the books. Also, I realize that I have created characters with deep backgrounds and complex personalities, and even though this isn't the first time, it is my first book with 4 such characters. The way they will respond to situations, especially if their reactions are combined, is becoming increasingly complex, and I want to be on top of that. For this reason, I'm planning on going through my notes of each character at least once a week while writing these books to make sure what I'm writing is true to their character. At least I'm going to do this for the first couple of books, after which I hope I'll have a good grasp on who they are. By midday, I was happy with how deep I've gone with my character, so I feel safe that he will have a voice of his own. At this point, I think I should start outlining the book, but first I need to look at the list of ideas and then take note of some bullet points of things I want to happen. Once I'm done with creating this small list, I'll call it a day and try to start on the outline tomorrow. For now, I'll go home, take a shower and maybe go for a walk since I'll be leaving Athens tomorrow. As lovely as the cafes and restaurants are in the city, I'm looking forward to being in a place that isn't as loud. It is Friday and I'm kinda bummed that the work week is coming to an end because I'm genuinely enjoying the process. Also, I had to do some late shopping and prepare my luggage as we'll be leaving today. I did put an alarm on my watch to get an early start, but with everything I had to do, I only started working at around 10:30. Oh, and I got a haircut. Luckily, I didn't have too many emails to take care of, so pretty soon I was back to getting prepared for my outline. After I finished work yesterday, I was thinking that I might really benefit from a bit more preparation so that I don't get stuck while writing the actual book. I want our characters to meet a few certain people and visit certain places during this first book. So I think it'll be better if I create some background for them instead of making it up as they go. To make it clear, I am very aware of the fact that getting prepared is the enemy of doing, but I think once I'm done with this, I'll have achieved a good balance. For this section, I noted down the characters that will appear in the book for an extended period of time and that will interact with the main cast. Then I got the character template I used to create the 4 boys and trimmed it to only things that are relevant to side characters. From there on, it was easy to create a bigger cast. I did something similar for locations using a different template that had fields like history of the place, significance, distinguishing features and more. At this point, I feel pretty confident about how much I know of the world and characters that I'll probably be able to start outlining the first book next week. This means that I'll pack the laptop, have one last walk through the town and then head to the airport. I'll be flying to the north of Greece and continue working from there next week. I hope that you will appreciate the change in scenery and that my head will be ready for more intense creative work. In any case, thank you very much for watching another video log of being an author and a publisher. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and if you think I earned it, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, is there something that you feel is missing or something that you'd like me to address? I'd be more than happy to read your comments or suggestions. Alright, take care everyone. Bye!